Osu as a game is dying. Well, that is what some people are claiming. That makes you wonder, why do they claim that? I researched on this matter and found some points that showed the current decline with the game and the reasons for that. Osu as a game is not dying, but it has flaws that hinders growth and makes people quit the game. The player base continues to decline, which is a fact, and it's not only that where the decline is showing. But what is the flaws that stops the growth and makes the player base decline? First of all, that people point out is that the player count is on a decline. Back in 2021, we could have upwards of 20,000 people playing the game, while right now it could be down to 8 to 10,000. In my opinion, this does not show a fact of the game dying. It's more like the player count has become as it should be. During COVID times, when most people were locked in, being chronically online was a thing. And with such spare time, a lot of people played video games, which of course includes Osu. Looking at a chart showing of daily unique users, the game peaked in 2021 due to what I explained before. And during the years after that, it started to decline. When the restrictions started to let go, people had other things to do. Something that is also noticeable is that fewer and fewer maps are being ranked. 2022, there were 11,262 maps being ranked. Fast forward to 2023, that number declined to 8,943. And now, in 2024, there has been around 4,700 maps ranked. With fewer maps getting ranked, there will of course be fewer options to choose from to play. Combine that with maps that people want to be ranked is getting vetoed or not ranked due to mappers who want to do their own thing, it creates a gap between the community and the mappers. Of course, mappers should have the option to map however they want, but when certain maps are favored in the community, more should be produced. If we also look at the difficulties of the maps being made, it becomes a problem. For the top players, few maps are being made for their skill level, which makes it so the same maps are being played. And when the pool of maps is limited, people become bored. Playing the same maps needed for you to rank up over and over is not the most fun experience, right? Also, from my own experience when I was a new player, the startup was very complicated. There were no tutorial maps, just some added on with the game, and I was forced to search everything up myself to understand correctly. I feel that's a big problem in my opinion. New players who don't really know much about the game can get deterred from continuing playing due to having no info on what to do and feeling like it's too hard to understand. Osu as a game is not very beginner friendly in that sense. Also, as a content creator myself, it's clear that content scene for Osu is at all-time low. Fewer videos are being made, and even though Osu content, specifically shorts, became really popular online, racking up millions of views, it did not help the content scene. Truth is, the content scene is pretty dead at the moment, and change has to be made, because social media is probably the main factor on how to bring in new players and let the game flourish. Osu is competing against thousands of other games for people to play, and if the content scene is not good, these people probably won't even hear about what it is and try it out. Because, as the old players start to get older, some naturally lose interest. Right now, we are going through a generation shift where the oldest players quit and new players come in. The big names in the Osu scene we always tended to associate with Osu has started to slowly disappear. New players like Iwaxa is breaking in and changes are happening. If you want Osu to continue being this big game as it is right now, new players need to come in. Because in 5 years, a lot of the old players will quit. And that is why changes need to be done, or else the game will die down. Osu needs to become more beginner friendly first of all, like I mentioned before. Slide to non-tutorial where you are forced to look up everything yourself is not something that will be sustainable in the future. New things needs to be added into OSU too. Keeping it the same maybe is fine for some, but that won't attract a big crowd. If you just check at the game Friday Night Funkin', it's literally OSU Mania, but a twist to it. Think of all the social media exposure that game got instead of OSU, because they made the general crowd more interested. If that exposure had been brought to OSU, think of how many potential players and revenue it could flock. I know we can't compete money-wise to promote the game as the big companies, and that is why the community plays such a big role. Without our involvement in social media, the game will not be exposed to others, and that will cause problems. And that was all I had to say for now, but I really wish that changes will be made in the future, as OSU is a game that deserves the spotlight. And I'll see you next time. Peace.